Really? Thanks. Very happy to hear that.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. To contextualize you, I'm interviewing professionals and mentors who I'm sure, through their experience and life philosophy, can positively influence young people. And I know that you're one of them. So that's why you're here.
I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, so before we start, how would you describe yourself, Marc? Who is Marc Reklau?
That's a good question. That's the question that starts everything. Who am I, right? For everybody. When I was your age, I didn't even know who I am. It took me a long time. I hope all you and your listeners, those who watch us, are quicker than me, because it took me until I was 40 to know who I am. Wow. But actually, it's the first time it's the question that starts everything. So who am I? I am a normal guy. I'm a normal guy. I was jobless 7 years ago. I was fired from my job. And I had the idea to write a book. And of course, all my friends said, "Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Look for another job."
Yeah.
But who do you think you are to write a book? But at the end, it doesn't matter, what other people say. Okay. And then I wrote a book.
Which one?
The book 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. And a long time nothing happened, but I didn't give up. And then things started to happen. As you also see, I think you also didn't get your followers in one day, but in 1 year you can get a lot of followers. So everything in life works like that. Young people, you have the advantage that there's now scientific proof for it, that you can research on internet, you can even talk to people.
We have the people.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I was your age, and I just could choose to believe or not believe. Mm-hmm. There was no science, it was more like, but now we can say, if you believe in yourself and listen to every successful person will tell you the same thing. Believe in yourself, go your way, don't give up. You can fail, no problem. You can fail over and over and over again. I failed many times. It doesn't matter. When I overcome my fear of failure, that's when my success started. Fear of failure was not blocking me anymore. I was trying things, I was failing things, but I also was succeeding in one thing. So the question is, who am I? I'm Marc, just Marc.
And what event made you change your mind? I mean, what happened so that you decided to change your life?
There's various events along the way. So my first event that changed my life was my father died when I was, not very young, but I was 18. So that's when you start thinking about the sense of life, what's going on, why are we here? I figured it out, why are we here? To learn, to improve, to become a better person. In that moment, I didn't care if it's wrong or right. It was just a thing that I hold to. Then second time my life changed was when I was 25. I was on a plane and the engine exploded. So really everybody on the plane was thinking we are going to die. And we were lucky. Everything went fine. And I was sitting in front of the stewardess like I'm sitting with you. And when the engine exploded, she was going like this in her chair. She was like, "Oh my God." And then your brain started. I said, "Oh, she is trained. If she is like this, things are not going very well." But it all went well. This made another change for me, because before I was thinking very much, I was thinking always 5 days ahead, or if I do this and if I do that. And then I noticed how quick it can be over. So that changed also, that changed me.
Your perspective.
Absolutely. That changed the perspective to be calmer. You also, in that moment when I thought I was going to die, nothing mattered. Only family, love, and that's it. Nothing matters. What do other people think of me? How much money do I have and all this? So this became all secondary, and I'm glad I had this experience, because it changed my thinking.
The priorities changed, right?
Absolutely. And then another point that changed my life was when I did a coaching training, life coaching, because, I was reading books, self-help books, since I was 16. Mm-hmm. And you can find them in my mom's house. There still are, and they're all underlined, and I studied them, and I thought I'm the smartest guy and everything. But the one thing what was in that books is, whenever you come to an exercise, the page is blank. So whenever it says write down your goals, it's blank. So that's why my life was regular, because I never made the exercise. I never applied the knowledge. And then when I was in my coaching training, then I learned it. I said, oh my God. And this was 7 years ago, then I started to apply the things, exactly those things that I wrote in my book, 30 Days. And also in Quierete and Love Yourself First, the other book. But 30 Days was like my first book, and it was like a workbook. It was intended to make people work. Apply. You always need to apply. That's the most important message I have. Apply knowledge. Try. With time, amazing things can happen. And the sooner you start, the better it is. But if you don't start, it's also okay. So I didn't start, until I was 40. So I stopped. I started. My life was going like this. Life will always go like this, up and down. But I say now that I was practicing these things for 7 years, life still goes up and down, but it's like on another level. It's like the happiness is bigger, and the sadness, I know how to get out of it because there are methods. And you learn, because I'm old, I'm 47 years old. So the older you get, you become more confident automatically. You know that things work out because things worked out before. So to you guys, I can just say, look, sometimes bad things happen, but every time you get stronger. Just learn something every time and you'll be fine.
Excellent. I agree with you. Some people just read and have the information, but that's useless if you don't apply it to your life. Which topics do you think are relevant for young people to learn at a young age? Learn and apply.
One thing is very important, self-love. Love yourself, because when you get older, you become more confident. When I was your age, I had zero self-love. I had zero self-confidence, when I was 18, 20, because it's a process. But you can work on it already, and really the more you learn and the less you care what other people think of you, the better it is. It gives you a really freedom. I would also look into goal setting also, although really it's like, of course, when you start with 16, 18, 20 with goal setting, you can make amazing things in life. I started with 40, and in 5-6 years I could do amazing things in life. So imagine what you can do, but also it's not a competition. I think there must be a balance also between pushing and relaxing, and not also
balance.
Expect too much from yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. That's also another thing. Don't be too hard on yourself. Everybody is hard on you, so you don't need to be hard on you. You need to be your best friend. And also, the sooner you find out what you want in life, although it gets easier, because if you don't know what you want, you can feel quite lost. You do this and you do that. So there are some questions. It's very interesting. I think in both books, 30 Days and Know Yourself, I have these questions. The chapter is also Know Yourself, and these are some questions. They are a little bit uncomfortable.
Read it, guys. It's awesome, that book.
Thanks. So there are some questions like, what am I here for? What do I really like to want to do? What am I doing for other persons? What am I doing for myself? These questions are crucial, and it's very funny because when I was 20, 22, I knew these questions already, and I knew the answers. I didn't have the courage to follow through. And then when I was 40 and I was with the back against the wall because I was jobless, I looked at those questions again, and then I answered them to myself, and I said, wow, it's the same like 18 years ago. So when I talk to young people, I always say, look, you have the choice. You can do like me and do a big detour and don't look at these questions. But when you look at the questions, things can change, because when you know where you're going, when you know what you want, things become easier. They can change. Also we have to think in life, it always changes. Goals change. Our values change. So for example, 10 years ago, I loved to go out and party and drink a lot of beer. And now I like to be calm. I like to go walk on the beach. I appreciate nice people a lot more. Everything always happens in the right moment. And the more you know about yourself, the easier it gets. But also, if not, it doesn't matter. Don't think you don't, when you are young. So I tell you what my life story. So I didn't know what to do from 20 to 23. Then with 23, very, very late, I started studying. Started studying a career I don't like, but just to study, for 5 years. And then I was jobless again. And then I went to Spain and I started working in a job, but it was just there because I didn't know, I didn't know what I want. So I worked in that job all the time until they fired me. I was happy for 2 years and then unhappy for 8 years. It depends on your attitude, but it was just like the way it is. So look at this. So I'm 40. And then my life really started, my dream life.
Awesome.
So if you are now 20, you can do 2 careers and be 28 and still have 12 years ahead of me. I think what is most important, guys, is that you really know life is very long and you can do a lot of things. you know. So don't feel pressured. Life always goes on. Maybe that's also something important.
Society told us that 35, 40 is too old, but
yeah, it's incredible. No, yeah, you're just starting. You are babies. You are babies, guys. No, the thing is, yeah. So with 35, I thought, oh my God, now everything is. I'm 35 and there's nothing. But when I changed my mindset and when I was reading many books is one thing. So reading and applying, open up your mind.
Yeah, that's it. And taking into account that you studied something that you didn't really like, there are some people that are on my situation, 17, 18 years old, and they're afraid of making a bad decision on a professional level. They are like afraid of regret of the life they chose or the career they chose. So what would you tell to those young people?
Okay, and I think that's a bad concept. And here we come back to failure. You can make bad decisions. Learn from them. And then go on. And you probably make many bad decisions. I made many bad decisions. But you know what is, I like it very much. It's a phrase from Paulo Coelho who says, even the wrong train takes you to the right destination. And I think you can't make it better. And for me, that was always a comfort. I was always believing, even when that I'm on the right track. Even if I do wrong decisions, the end will be right. And it's very funny. Everything makes sense when you look backward.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be so worried. So look, I told you, I didn't like my studies, but I studied international sales, and then I worked in a printer, in a book printer, in that job that I didn't like. But now I'm a self-publisher. I write my books in 3 languages. I know how it works. I know because I worked in a printer. So everything makes sense. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at the time. But now everything makes sense. And always think you have time. I mean, don't throw your life away like doing drugs or something. That's not awesome. Then it's gonna get a little bit more difficult. But still, I mean, everything in the life has his time. And as I told you, look, I also like to party a lot, way too much. And still, I'm in a good place today.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, exactly. So how do I say it? Take responsibility. You are the only one responsible for your lives, even if it sometimes doesn't seem like it, but things will happen. Things that we can't change will happen, but we can change how we see the things. And that's something, look, for example, when my father died, which is horrible when you are 18, but I made decisions based on that. First of all, I valued my life more. And then exactly I said that I will not throw my life away. This was a point that I was making my last year of high school. So I could have thrown everything away. I could have taken drugs and totally derailed. And people would have said, the poor guy, of course, look at his life. But I decided, and that was a decision. I said, no, I'm going to go try to live my best life now. So everything has two sides. You are really in charge. The secret is always finding balance, acting responsible. So, for example, when I live every day like it was the last day of my life. So, if I would die tomorrow, today I can say I had a great life. Everything is fantastic, no problem. Live the life, live it.
It all starts with a decision.
Yes.
Okay, so you told us that you have published books in 3 languages. So which are the great lessons that you have had by writing and publishing?
Oh, the great lesson is practically, for example, the first book, 30 Days. Afterwards, I noted it was like I was writing it to myself, to my 18-year-old self, because it's so much focused on applying, like read and then apply. Applying is the most important. And Love Yourself is a book that is more, which goes totally self-love, self-esteem, because self-esteem is the basis of everything. And I wrote it thinking, first of all, of myself, because I was without self-esteem for a long time, but also thinking of women. For example, in Spain, the women of my generation, sometimes they don't have a great self-esteem because they have always been pushed down, from the father, from the mother, and they were told, your only job in life is make your husband happy, and that's it, So it was difficult for them to build up self-esteem. And So I was thinking about that when I write the book. So the fun thing is when you write the book, you also work through a lot of stuff. So when I was writing this book, I was working through my own issues of self-esteem, reminding myself what's important and this. And then I have another book. It's called How to Become a People Magnet. That's about human relationships.
I love it, that one.
Really? Oh, cool. And I said, okay, let's do it. And he always sends me the titles, of the chapter. And then I start writing. And I could put a lot of things of my life in it because I was a waiter at Disney World when I was 20 in Orlando, Florida. And it was amazing. It changed also, once again, it changed my whole perspective. Because before you think in people, you think in nations, the Colombians, the Germans, the English, So I noticed the nice people, they are the same from every country. And the rude people, they are also the same, so they are the same. They act the same, they have the same body language. So that was very funny. And it also went into the book. So usually when I write, I take things that are from my experience. I also try everything. And then I put it into the book. So there's nothing also only from theory, because it's very easy to tell you, you have to do this, and then you do this, and then this. And I can totally identify with young people who now with 20 or 21 don't know what they do, because I didn't know what to do. And that's a funny story. I remember I was coaching a teenager, and his dad came to me and he says, my son, I don't know, he failed one study. Now he started another study. The guy was 19 and he was like, and I don't know. And I said, and I looked at the father because that was after I knew his son. And I told him, I know your son is not, I think he's a very intelligent guy and he will go very far, but he is doing something he doesn't like because you forced him to. And now he's doing something else, what he likes, but in the school that you forced him to. Of course, of course. And I tell him, and you think your son with 19, look at me. You're talking to a guy who with 19, I didn't even know I wanted to be a football player. I didn't even think so. Put the things into perspective, right?
There are some young people that are in the same situation. All society, parents, teachers are like, you have to choose right now what to do with the rest of your life.
Pretend you do, but now you don't.
Yes.
I mean, do your best. Do your best. I have some people who went to school with me. They knew exactly what they want to do, and they went like this. And they never had these problems. Those people exist, and I admire them because I wasn't one of them. I did never know what I did. But the funny thing is what I said before. When I was 40 and I was jobless, and I answered the questions, what do I want to do? It was, I want to inspire people, I want to motivate people, I want to write books, and I want to do conferences. And it was the same thing that I wanted with 23. But with 23, I was all worried. I was thinking about too much about what do I have to do. And with 40, I just did it. So when so with 23, I thought, okay, if I want to do a conference about love yourself first, then I have to first, never did it, so I have to prepare it first and everything, and then I can do it. And when I was 40, and people said to me, I need a workshop. Did you ever do a workshop for like a client workshop, like how to treat the customer? I said, no, but give me 4 weeks, and I set something up, because I knew that in 4 weeks I can study and can get things together and do it. So that was one of the differences.
Excellent. Yeah, just do it. Just try it.
Do it. Can't be said better. Just do it.
One of the last questions, what would you do differently if you were 17 again?
Oof, that's a difficult question. I think I would do nothing different. Nothing. You know why? And I just had that question also for a couple of weeks ago. Because if I would do something different, maybe my life would not be what it is today. And I like my life how it is today. So I wouldn't do everything different. It was horrible. It was painful. Lots of loss, lots of failure, lots of mistakes. But it all worked out, so I'm happy. So that's one, that's me. On the other hand, if you say, okay, what would have been possible for me if with 17, I would have already wrote down my goals, answered the question, you know, do what I did with 40. That's incredible. I think those of you who can do that can reach incredible things, you know. So for me, I think I wouldn't change anything for me, but if there are 17 years old, 18 years old out there, read books, not only mine only, from everybody. Apply. It's the most important thing. And really, I can tell you, it's so nice because everything is possible. Look, I was jobless 6 years ago. And today I have sold over 300,000 books, been #1 on Amazon in England, Canada, Spain, USA. I live now on a small island in Europe, in Malta. I earn practically a day what I earned before in a month. Everything is possible. And when you look in the stories, when you look the success stories, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Jordan, all these people, they worked hard. When I was your age, I thought these people, Jordan, Schwarzenegger, they were just lucky. They were discovered somewhere. So I just have to sit into a street coffee, think positive, and then Hollywood will discover me. And then when you look at them, you will always find they worked harder than anybody else. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a couple of great speeches on the internet. He worked so hard, it's incredible. You know, he worked a job, then he did his bodybuilding, and then he went to acting school. You go to the success stories. All stories are like this. Hard work, lots of failures, lots of practice if they were sports people. You know, if they are sports people, then I can tell you, if you stay with something today, there are no shortcuts. Work hard, work for it. You probably need to work for whatever you want, for your dream, but you can achieve it. Nothing will be free, but you can achieve it. That's a great thing.
They did what nobody wants to do, but now they have the life everyone wants.
Great. That's a great thing. And so it happens to me often. Many authors, you know, they say, oh, Mark, wow, I want to be like you. Wow, you sell so many books. But the thing is, they want to be, but they don't want to do the work. And they forget that I have 6 years. 6 years I was working like crazy. 4 years were not very nice. I was burning my savings, many failures, many rejections. That wasn't necessary to go where I am today. And when you are willing to do this, then you will succeed.
You will achieve it. That's it. Thank you so much for your time. So share with us your social media and the name of your books, and I will put the link below.
Okay, so yeah, my books are 30 Days. Did you read 30 Days?
Yeah.
You're ready too? Awesome. So Love Yourself, How to Become a People Magnet. My favorite book nearly is The Life-Changing Power of Gratitude, because the power of gratitude is also something amazing. It adds to your success when you are grateful. And then I have one that it's called Words of Wisdom, which are like quotes from famous people and then commented by me. And it's all about not giving up and keeping on it. That can be a very good book for you guys, just to can see all the famous people, you know, who failed a lot and never gave up and then made it. Then I have one, it's called the Productivity Revolution, which is more about personal productivity. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and on LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you so much. I will share with you the interview when it's on YouTube, and it will be also in TikTok. Okay.
Please, yeah, send me the links.
Thank you.
And maybe in 1 year we do another interview and we see how it's going, also with your followers.
Love it. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.